Just over a week ago, Mark Latham alleged that the domestic violence figures are actually on the decline, and he was chastised for it in social media. And I checked the Australian Institute of Criminology, and he was actually right. The figures actually peaked around 2007. So is this a case of the squeaky wheel gets the grease?
David Morrison.
In my hometown of Canberra in the Australian Capital Territory, there is an organisation called the Domestic Violence Crisis Service. It's burnt through its annual budget halfway through this year. You talk to extraordinary men like Ken Lay down in Victoria, and he'll tell you something completely different. It's not about the statistics, it's about the lives that are being taken and damaged here. And what do you want to do? You want to compare a particular figure from a year to a year. We are, as a society, becoming more aware of that, I think, the greatest social challenge that we face, and that is domestic violence in this country. And nothing should be said to take our attention from it. Now, I'm meeting with Michael Costigan fairly soon. Tara Costigan was killed in the most brutal fashion in the ACT. You can't look at the Costigan family and quote a statistic, oh, it's in decline and it's a squeaky wheel. Get real, Australia. We run the risk at times of being a nation of bystanders, comforted by a few statistics. Let me tell you, there are people dying and people whose lives are absolutely ruined as a result of domestic violence. And what's more, we are all, as a society, the victim. That's bullshit.
Just on the question of statistics, it might be...
Sorry, you're on the program, Tony.
That's all right. Might be a job for our fact-checking unit on the issue of the statistics. We actually looked at the ones you're talking about, and they stop at 2012. But then if you look at the figures that come later, it rises again up to 2015. So there is a problem with these statistics. So I think everyone needs to get a grip on them. We'd like our fact-checking unit to have a look at that. But go ahead.
Sorry, we are more aware. There are more instances of domestic violence now being reported. This morning I had the privilege of opening the legal year in the ACT, and I was talking to some of the lawyers down there, and they were just saying, look, we are now... What the community expectations are, and very appropriately, that we deal with instances of domestic violence in a much more immediate way. And of course, it's not just the courts, it's first responders like police, it's the community organisations like the Domestic Violence Crisis Service in the ACT, but they are all stretched. There is now a demand out there. Women, children, men too, are putting their hands up and saying, I can no longer live this way. Of course, there are many more women and children who are, the victims for the next generation and perhaps the generation after that. We are all stretched to deal with this, but if we don't deal with it, what is the legacy we leave for those who follow us?